Emilio Gay, maiden ton, has Northamptonshire in charge. In the end, it was pretty straightforward for Northamptonshire against Sussex on the south coast. Their chase on the final day ticked off without much to worry them. Kent watched on from the sidelines. No match last time out. Plenty of time to formulate plans of how to pick up their first win of the season. Vasconcelos and Emilio Gay made sure those plans would have to wait though. The Northamptonshire opening partnership were off to a great start. Vasconcelos in particular off to a flyer, scoring at a runner ball en route to the team 50. The opening to their innings continued to get better. Both men shared the burden of run scoring and took their side up towards 100 after a little over an hour together. They breached three figures with a boundary off Quinn from the bat of Gay, and the pair were showing no signs of slowing. Gay was the first to get to his 50, a single off Quinn sufficient for him to reach the mark for the first time this summer. Vasconcelos wasn't far behind. A boundary off Gilchrist took him to his half-century off 70 deliveries. But after ticking along at more than 5 and over, Kent had something to shout about. Vasconcelos, the first wicket of the day, caught behind for 66 on the cusp of lunch. They'd reached the break with 141 on the board, just one wicket, the openers, falling before the interval, the session Northamptonshire's. Vasconcelos' departure did little to derail Northamptonshire. The run rate dipped, but Procter and Gay remained resolute, 150 on the board, not long after they restarted. The pattern of play was restored, the Northamptonshire pair looked imperious against what Kent threw at them, and before long, they'd found their way to 200 runs. Gay looking in fine form and closing in on a ton. He slowed in the 90s. Procter took on the responsibility of scoring as his partner approached his maiden first-class 100. But Gay had the moment he'd been hunting for. Leaning turned into the leg side, and for the first time, his score was into 3 digits. That would be the end of the road for the Northamptonshire opener, caught behind with 101 to his name. Procter followed him with a landmark total of his own, 50 runs to the number 3. His work with Gay had put his side in a fantastic position. A Keogh boundary off Stevens took them to 250. Tea came soon after, with the score 253 for 2. Could Kent halt their charge in the evening session? There was more of the same for Northamptonshire as the evening session got underway. Procter and Keogh continued to pile on the runs, and Kent looked powerless to stop them. It wasn't long before they were closing in on 300 runs. That mark reached with a Procter single. He'd moved into the 80s with the score ticking up, but he was unable to convert. LBW to Quinn for 81. It was a good period for Kent. They had the other set batsman, a first for Darren Stevens. Keogh caught behind. And then another for Kent, the evening much kinder to them when Rossington was bowled by the veteran. Zaib and Taylor recovered to take the score past 350. How far could they get before the end of the day? The umpires would lead them from the field of play with the score 362 for 5. Northamptonshire in complete control, and Kent had a lot to do with the ball on day 2.